Okay. Okay. Good evening. It's Monday, June 3rd, and the Personnel Administrative Affairs Committee will hold its meeting today. And I will ask the clerk, Alderwoman Shoshana Kelly, to call the roll.
Great. Alderman Ben Clemens, Alderman Lopez, Alderman Gidge, Alderman at Large Shoshana Kelly is here. Our chair, Alderman Karen,
Here.
and also in attendance is Alderman at Large Brandon Laws.
Okay, thank you. And we'll start with public comment. No public comment today. Okay. We have a communication.
Communication from Paula Johnson regarding 019044.
Yes. Okay. Being any comments, concerns? Okay, the communication will be added to our minutes of today's meeting. Okay, we have interviews.
To the Downtown Improvements Committee, we have a new appointment of Philip Sconsa with a term to expire December 1st, 2021. Do you want to come up?
Thank you. You can sit anywhere. Okay. So usually the mayor or chief of staff is here to give us a little background on you, Philip, but since he's not here, we'd like you to tell us why you'd like to be on the Downtown Improvements Committee.
The reason why I'm really looking forward to be on the Downtown Improvement Committee is because I have been involved in downtown for many, many years on many of the committees, starting with Heart of Nashua back in the day, down to Destination Downtown, and now Great American Downtown. But this committee is exciting because for years we always downtown word lament that we had these meters, and now that the meter money has some of the money is funded to downtown, which is providing a wonderful resource for us. It will be a real pleasure to be able to help to decide where that's going to go and what important project is next to do downtown. Just left the Stella Blue where they are doing the Performing Arts Center. In all seriousness, it's extremely exciting to see the renderings and get a chance to meet with the architects and the people, the planners of this it's just really uplifting because it shows that there's real vibrancy future ahead of us that we I'm really looking forward to. My family has been involved in downtown Nashua since 1912. And I hope we'll be here for many, many years. So I look forward to serving on this committee if you will have me.
Okay. Any comments from the committee? Alderwoman Kelly.
I have had the pleasure of interacting with the Sconsas since I pretty much moved here to Nashua. I consider them part of the welcoming committee. They're a wonderful business to go to, but also just wonderful people. And I'm really excited you're stepping up to this, and I think you can bring some good ideas to what we're doing with that, because I think the downtown fabric and those businesses and this investment that we're doing, it'll be really important to have the voices of the people who are there. So you've been there for a long time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else? Alderman Laws.
Well, I'm not sure if we've had the pleasure of being introduced, but I know your family name very well. And as the liaison of the downtown or the Board of Aldermen to the Downtown Improvements Committee, I'm excited to serve with you on that board.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, Mr. Sconsis, I've known you forever and your family. So I'm really excited that you are willing to serve. I mean, you're involved in a lot of things. So I think this is a great testament to the mayor's selections for the various committees that we have throughout the city. And I know you'll do well by that committee and the community at large. So what will happen is we will make our vote later on in the meeting, but swearing is next Tuesday at the Board of Aldermen meeting, and I know you do have somewhere to be. So if we don't have anything else, we thank you for coming to the meeting. Oh, Mayor, and the mayor's here. Okay, thank you. Thank you for stepping
Much.
up.
Thank you for
Okay,
the honor. I appreciate it.
thank you. We'll see you next week.
Good to see you. Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Okay, to the Energy and Environment Committee, the mayor has brought forth Bob Hayden as a new appointment with the term to expire January 21st, 2020. Want to come up? Great.
Howdy, folks. How you doing?
Fine. Thank you. So as I said to Mr. Sconsis, the mayor's not here to give us a little background, so if you would please, Mr. Hayden, tell us about yourself and why you would like to be on this particular committee.
My
Thank
name
you.
is Bob Hayden. I work with Standard Power here in Nashua. We're at 17 Technology Way. We're involved in many matters energy, but particularly renewable energy. I've lived in New Hampshire in Lineborough for well over 30 years in a earth-bermed passive solar house that I built. Have solar on it, recycle, compost, grow my own vegetables. So I kind of live a green life. And the committee is an appropriate place for me to help and be part of the community as my business resides here.
Okay. Committee members. Alderwoman Kelly.
It's my committee, so.
Yeah, oh, okay.
I've had the pleasure of interacting with you at the committee. He's been attending some before. I think you'll be a great asset to the committee, considering your background and also your, you were talking about lifestyles, like, oh yeah, composting, all those things that we're working on.
Yeah, how we
So
live.
I appreciate you stepping forward. I know you'll bring a lot to the things that we're trying to get accomplished this year and in the future.
Thank you kindly.
Okay, let it record show that Alderman Clemens and Alderman Lopez have joined us. Thank you. Okay, do we have any other questions for Mr. Hayden? Well, we'll welcome you to the committee, and as I said earlier, we will take a vote later on in the meeting, and if you're approved, you'll get notified to attend the next Board of Aldermen meeting to get sworn in. And thank you so much for offering to join that committee. I know it's new, and they have some great, exciting ideas moving forward. Thank you.
All right, folks, have a nice evening.
You too, thank you. Okay, application to license hawkers peddlers. There is none. Appointments by the mayor.
I move to recommend the confirmation of the appointment of Philip Sconsa as an alternate member to the Downtown Improvement Committee for a term to expire December 1st, 2020, and Bob Hayden to the Environment and Energy Committee for a term to expire January 21st, 2020.
Okay, do we have any questions, concerns? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Okay, motion passes. New business?
There's none.
New business ordinance.
We have before us O19-044, amending the Board of Aldermen compensation ordinance.
Okay, we have Alderman Laws, who was the sponsor of this particular ordinance. So, Ms. Alderman Laws, you're here, so would you give us a little,
Thank you, Madam Chair.
thank you.
It occurred to me that one of our colleagues maybe it inspired me to propose this legislation because Alderwoman Kelly's going to be having a baby soon, which is fantastic. And I don't think it's fair for her necessarily to miss compensation because she might be out watching her child. And it's 2019. I feel like this is happening all over the place. And I think we should set an example on the Board of Aldermen by taking care of our own.
Okay. Any comments or concerns? Alderman Clement.
Thank you. Yeah, I fully support this. I'm wondering if we could make an amendment to it to extend it to paternity leave as well. I think that, for example, my employer, that's a benefit that we just recently received, and I think it's important that, both parents have the opportunity to be with the child, but otherwise, I think it's great legislation.
Okay, Alderman Lopez and then Alderman Laws.
So as I understand this, it doesn't give free lease, like the expectation isn't that when somebody delivers a child or their wife gives birth, there isn't the automatic expectation that they'll never come again. It just includes the conditions under which an absence would be excused. So I just find it to be a nod towards reasonable accommodations being made to people who are able to diligently represent their city, but maybe on the specific night of a meeting, there might be something going on that needs to be clarified.
Okay. Alderman Laws.
I just wanted to say I support that amendment from Alderman Clemens. We've spoken about it privately, and I think it's a great idea.
Okay, so,
I didn't make a motion, so do we make the motion and then amend it, or the other way around?
no, I was just going to say, Alderman Clemmons, since you're on the committee, if you want to make the amendment to be added to that. And then we can
Sure,
have a discussion so that, and let it be known that Alderman Wilshire has joined the committee. Thank you for coming. Alderman Clemmons.
Yeah, I would move to amend the ordinance to also to add paternity leave. So where it says maternity, I would add the words "and paternity."
Okay. Okay, you all heard the motion. Any other comments? No? Were you? Oh, I thought you were raising your hand.
Nope,
Okay,
I'm,
all right.
I'm good.
All right, so we understand the amendment? Okay, so the amendment is to add in paternity in section B, along with maternity and paternity or adoption leave. Okay, all right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passage. Thank you, Alderman Laws, for coming.
Don't we have to move for final passage then?
Yes. And now we'll move for final passage of ordinance O-19-044 as amended. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you.
Before us, we have O-19-045, updating the financial standards for the city's welfare guidelines, and I would move to recommend final passage.
Okay, you heard the motion, and we have Mr. Mack from the Welfare Department here. If you would come forward and give us a little synopsis of the changes that we're looking to make.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
My name is Bob Mack. I'm the Welfare Officer for the City of Nashua. As you see from the language in the ordinance, in accordance with the City of Nashua General Assistance Guidelines and the RSA 165 under which we operate, we are required to review and look at the financial standards, which are the expenses upon which we base eligibility determinations and issue assistance in accordance with those guidelines. We utilize some reports to get those numbers. So for fair market rental allowances, we look at HUD and New Hampshire Housing Finance Authority residential rental cost survey information. We look at USDA food allowance standards, and we look at the cost of living, the CPI index, to look at any sort of increase or decrease there as there may be in those expenses for just basic costs of living. So in looking at those things, these are the proposed financial standards, which are updated from last year's financial standards. You'll see some increases primarily in some of the rental costs. As you're probably well aware, the costs of rent in the city of Nashua have gone up a little bit over the past 12 months or so. And so again, we just want to make sure that what we're using for figures are in line with the current rental market. And the other expenditures around food and just personal care maintenance items have gone up about 1.85%.
Okay. Do we have any questions? Alderman Clements and then Alderman Kelly.
So my question You know, I think obviously these standards need to be updated and that. But my question is were these appropriately, the changes, are they appropriately reflected in the budget that was proposed by the mayor? So in other words, what type of impact do you foresee that
That's
having on the budget?
I'm sorry. That's a good question, Alderman Clements. Yes, we did consider the increase in proposing this increase in the financial standards when preparing the budget. If we look at, the way the current budget year will play out, we should be coming in under budget, so there should be some money going back to the general fund. Um, The mayor and the board have always been, I would say, conservative in making sure that there's sufficient funding in the general assistance budget, because I know, what was some 17 years ago when I first started here with the city, I think the budget had been expended, it was mid-January, and they had spent about $1 million out of a $650,000 budget. So it was a little overspent at that point in time. So in order to make sure that we don't get in that situation again, we've budgeted pretty conservatively, I would say, to make sure we have enough funding. We were also able to use unexpended funds over the course of years to build up the welfare trust fund, which is, a backup. So if we do overexpend, we can tap into that. And that's around $370,000, I think, at this point in time. So we're pretty secure, but that is a good question, and we did consider that when we proposed these.
Okay, thank you.
Alderwoman Kelly, and then Alderman Wilshire.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask, this is a yearly thing that we do to make sure that we're,
Yes,
line?
generally, we look at the expenses annually. Occasionally, there's not much change, and so we don't propose any changes. But typically, it's about every 12 months or so that we propose these.
Alderman Wilshire.
Thank you. So you expect to come, to have a surplus or money unspent?
It appears we will come in under budget for this
Okay.
fiscal year,
So
2019.
the trust fund, the expendable trust fund, this money wouldn't lapse into that?
I believe at this point, it's kind of maxed out at what it was set to.
What was it set to,
It was set to like
$375,000?
$350,000.
Okay.
And then it's accrued some interest, I believe, and I'm not sure of all the
The nuances of it?
financial nuances of that, but I'd leave that to the finance department, but.
Well, I just want to say thank you, because when I got on this board, I don't want to tell you how many years ago, but it was a lot of years ago. The welfare department was not run as efficiently as it is under your watch. So thank you for that. I mean, we were spending 1.3 million. We didn't have the right amount of people on the job, case managers, and thank you for bringing this up to where we can live with it. I mean, you do a good job with the budget. You do a good job serving the people that need you, and thank you for all of that.
Well, thank you very much, and I would just add that we have a very good staff, and they're very knowledgeable about community resources, and we rely heavily on our community partners as well, so I wouldn't want to let that go without saying, so.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, we have a great network of nonprofits, and Bob really does a good job collaborating with all of them. So thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Anyone else? I'll add to that because I sat on that committee, that group, once a month, and I was very impressed because you usually see agencies that don't really work well together because they get territorial, but that group really works well together to help the most vulnerable of our city, and I appreciate that you're upgrading this more often, and it's nice that we have that trust fund. Maybe we need to look at it and see if we should increase it and be able to put some of that excess money, unspent money aside in case of emergencies, but thank you for doing that. Alderman Wilshire.
Did you have a surplus last year?
We did have a surplus last year. I don't remember exactly what it was, but
Okay, all right. I was just curious.
yeah.
Because if the trust fund isn't where it needs to be, but if you've had a surplus a couple of years in a row, then maybe it just should lapse to the general fund, but I would like to see, you know, going back the last 4 or 5 years, if you've needed extra money, haven't had it, and had to, I don't think you have had to come back to us, right?
No, we haven't
No.
had to do that for quite some time.
Okay.
So,
Good job.
thank you.
Alderman Lopez.
I would just caution about the enthusiasm for surpluses and extra budgets, because if a person's listening and they have not had their needs met, this could be interpreted a very different way. So I think what I see here is that we are addressing the identified needs, and we're acknowledging that the housing costs in Nashua are going up higher and higher. So we need to increase the amount that we can give per person. I'm personally not inclined to start declaring victory over all welfare assistance needs. I think there's several groups of organizations that are active in the city meeting needs, and they are very helpful in making sure that the city doesn't carry too much of a burden. And Director Mack is very much a part of that. But at the same time, there are people whose needs are not being met. They're not eligible for different services or resources for one reason or the other. So I just would want to be conscious of that.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mack.
Thank
We'll
you.
vote on the resolution. Okay. Alderman, good ordinance.
Yep, I already made the motion.
Okay. So the motion is to update the financial standards for the city's welfare guidelines, O-19O-045. Any other questions, concerns? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the ordinance passes.
Tabled in committee.
Yep, so,
We still have 2 appointments, one to the Downtown Improvement Committee and one to the Mine Falls Park Advisory Committee. It does not appear that they are here this evening,
nope,
so we will keep it on the table.
absolutely.
Great.
Okay. Anything else? Nope. Discussion, any discussion?
Hold on. Is this the same one? We still got this, right? I believe we need to take from the table R19.
Do you want to take it off the table? That's what I'm,
It says I do. You tell me. Are we good to go on it?
I don't know. Let's see. Okay, if you want to
I
take
don't
it.
recall why it was tabled.
That was my question too.
I
So
don't know.
I don't believe I was at this meeting. I might have been absent this meeting, but I'm not sure why it was tabled. That's
I
why
don't either,
I'm
so-
unsure.
think-
Do we want to keep it tabled? Go ahead, Ben.
I think Alderman Dowd might have been, or the mayor wasn't able to come or something. I don't remember why this was tabled, though.
Someone didn't show up to have a conversation, so I
Shall-
think
shall
we
we keep
should
it
just,
tabled?
let's keep it tabled.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll table R-19-128. Okay. Any discussion? Oh, Alderman Lopez.
Are we sure that there isn't going to be some kind of immediate and sudden progress with rail? I guess not.
Alderman Clemmons.
Yeah, I mean, it's got several endorsers on it, and I think if there's something between now and the next meeting that is urgent about it, we can, at the full board, we can pull it from committee and act on it. I know that's not necessarily the best strategy to do, but it seems like it's something that's got a lot of support and it doesn't seem very controversial. So if there is some kind of need to get it passed at the next Board of Aldermen meeting, you know, one of the sponsors can come forward and let us know. And I think we can handle it that way.
I'll have someone check with the mayor's office and find out why we tabled it at the last meeting. Okay, how's that? Anything else? Okay, any discussion? No public comment? Remarks from the alderman? Alderwoman Kelly?
Talking a lot tonight, sorry.
That's okay.
I just wanted to acknowledge the piece of legislation that Alderman Laws brought forward. I appreciate his thinking of me, but I want to make sure that everyone knows that it is not just for me, that it's really about future people who might sit on this board and making sure that we're open to all kinds of walks of life to be on this board, and making it flexible, but also, that you're here, you're still committed. I will be as in many meetings as I possibly can. So I just wanted to say that, and I wanted to say thank you.
Okay, Alderman Laws.
I just hope I didn't give the impression that it was exclusively for Alderwoman Kelly. She was the inspiration, but I believe the legislation is necessary and relevant.
Thank you, Alderman Lopez.
I just wanted to add that my youngest brother his wife gave birth to twins, and I know he's been working very diligently as a father over the last several weeks. Has had like zero sleep, and is trying to manage his career and work at the same time. So I'm particularly conscious now of the situation that parents, both male and female, might be in. So I appreciate Alderman Clemens' addition to it and Alderman Law's initiative.
Okay, thank you. I think it was the wise decision, and we don't know what the future board will look like down the road, so we certainly don't want to discourage people from participating in government because of their needs and wants and family.
Or from having children.
And, right.
Because they're
That's-
elected, so they can't.
That's right. Okay. No non-public today? Okay, motion.
Move to adjourn.
Okay. Motion is to adjourn. All in favor?
I
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned at 7:26 PM. Thank you.